Alright, hey guys, we're started. And as you can tell, this is a special edition of our show this week, and this one is our Black Ops show. So let me get it kicked off by showing you a video. Hang on. Alright, well, welcome guys. Welcome again back to the Spawnee show presented by GlobalSpawn.com. We have a few special guests tonight, and I want to introduce you to them. First off, in the upper right-hand corner, we have Morgan J. East. So Morgan, say hi.
Hi.
And bottom left corner, we have Star Wars Bob, or Nick. Say hi, Nick.
What's up? Great to be back.
Thank you. Thank you for joining again. And bottom right corner, we have Mal. How you doing, Mallory?
Good.
Good. Thanks for joining. I definitely appreciate it.
No problem.
What we're doing tonight is we're doing a special show. It's an all Black Ops show, obviously, based on the background we have here. And we're going to talk about a few things. Some of the topics we're going to talk about tonight is the campaign itself from Black Ops, some of the multiplayer things going on around Black Ops. Obviously, we have Nick on because we're going to talk about zombies, because zombie is a huge, huge part of what Treyarch has done, as well as what Black Ops is doing. And we're going to talk about the future title, possibly Black Ops 2. Obviously, we have nothing confirmed, but this is more of a talk about what we'd like to see, things we hope to see, and some of the things that have been going on Twitter from David Vonderhaar and the Treyarch crew. So, first thing we're going to start off is the campaign. We're going to talk about the campaign. I'm going to play a little bit from the campaign, so hang on one second, and I'll get that going.
This one, fortunate son.
Woods, he's here.
Mason,
Woods, you look like hammered shit.
it's no count for shit in the jungle. This is Nam, baby.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Jason Hudson, CIA. Thank you for your time, Sergeant.
Right.
Now, obviously, the campaign was a great story. I don't recall how long the actual gameplay was for the campaign, but I definitely had a lot of fun playing it. It was an interesting story. It was a very dark story, and the characters were definitely into their realm of what was going on during the Cold War, and it spread across that time frame. So, kind of curious of what you guys thought about the story of the campaign, the length of it. Kind of did it help kick off what Treyarch hasn't done yet, and that's go more modern. Obviously, it's in the Cold Era, but it is a bit more modern than what they're used to doing. I mean, what did you guys think of the actual storyline and the story of the campaign? I'll start with you, Morgan. What do you think of it?
I liked how the storyline actually kind of jumps through time, and you get to see, parts of each, individual era within that time frame. But I mean, overall, I liked the length of the campaign. I liked that it felt a lot cleaner than World at War did.
What about the characters? I mean, what did you think of the characters? Was it a good character setup? The people who actually played the characters, Woods and Mason, and some of the others.
I liked it. I liked Woods a lot. I love that Gary Oldman came back and had his role in Black Ops. Everybody loves Gary Oldman.
Everybody loves Reznov. Yes, that was good.
And of course, his part in that story was just great. I mean, I'm not big on campaigns. Like it took me a long time to finish the previous games, but this one I immediately sat down and played. So it definitely had grabbed my attention from what I had already seen when I visited Treyarch and all.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, Nick, I know you're a zombies fellow, but what did you think of the actual campaign? Did you get a chance to play it? Did you play it through? And did you play the different levels of it?
Oh yeah, I played the whole thing through. I thought it was great. The way that they had the kind of the way it played through, you did feel like you're a Spec Ops type person, very covert. And the way that they made the main character have its own voice, you having your own voice, I thought that was a pretty good choice. I enjoyed it.
That's good. What do you think, Mel?
I actually loved the campaign. I really, really like Treyarch. I think Treyarch's a really good game designer and developer, unlike a lot of other people that complain about Black Ops and World at War. I actually loved World at War, so I loved the fact that Black Ops incorporated characters like Reznov, and it took you back to the mission right after, like a mission that happened right after World at War. I like the fact that the Black Ops campaign was kind of suspenseful and not the typical campaign. So that element was really exciting to me. I like when something is surprising, and that was definitely a surprising campaign. I loved it.
That's great. Now, what was real interesting about the campaign, and Nick, you just touched on it, was that you actually could hear your character. Your character was talking. And that was an interesting spin on how they did things. Now, if any of you know, have you seen the Modern Warfare 3 commercial Veteran versus Noob? The Veteran, that's actually the person who plays the character of Mason. And he did a really good job. Now, there were some interesting parts of the campaign itself when they were all in Cuba and he had to assassinate Fidel Castro, and I'm sure that got some eyebrows raised, but it definitely put some suspense into the game. And one thing I was really, really excited about was Ed Harris. Ed Harris playing the CIA agent, and they did a really, really good job with that. But the whole Manchurian Candidate kind of thing for the campaign definitely helped sell the story a lot. So. What did you guys think of the length, basically the length of the campaign? I mean, did you think it was long enough? Did you think it needed to be longer? I mean, because a lot of these games coming out seem to have this new thing to say, okay, this game is going to take you 40 hours to get through the campaign. I personally think the campaign length of Black Ops did very well. It was just fine. What do you guys think about that? The length of it.
I thought it was pretty good overall. I mean, it's not too long, it's not too short that you're like, wow, where's the rest of this? You know?
Yeah, I agree. I like the length too. I think that, I don't know, I almost find it's like when you go to the movies and people complain about a movie being too long, I actually don't think that's a bad thing because it means you get more for your money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the longer it takes me to play a game, the more I'm getting out of my money. I mean, you can play multiplayer as long as you want, but the campaign, it kind of draws you in, and so I like the fact that I was so drawn into the story for so long. I don't think it was too long, but I definitely don't think it was too short either. I think it was kind of perfect.
Well, we'll definitely be talking about Story of Zombies because it has its own storyline. As I learned from watching some of Nick's videos on the whole moon and everything else that was going on in Zombies. But what I found interesting is that Treyarch also makes, probably in my opinion, the hardest veteran level of a Call of Duty game. Because I'll admit, the first thing I do when I get a new Call of Duty, I usually will play the campaign, and I'll play it on easy because I want to get through the story. I want to hear a story. I'm a film guy. I lived in Hollywood for a while, and I worked there, so I like being in a story. I like feeling I'm part of a story, and I want to hear what's going on and get through it. And then I play Veteran, and it took me a good week or so to get through it because it was very, very tough. But I want to see the story and understand some of the mechanics, if there's anything that's changed, because obviously multiplayer is much different. But all in all, it was a pretty good story. I mean, did you like the story compared to Zombies, Nick? What would you say? And we won't jump into Zombies too much yet, but I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the campaign story, right?
Right.
Yeah, the campaign story, it was heavily based on the way that they did the Zombies story, kind of. It had a lot of secrets, and you had to pick up on some stuff to catch along with it. And I like that kind of secret stuff where everything's not laid out to you. It's kind of, you have to find the information.
Right.
So I enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, and the whole thing with the campaign, I don't want to dwell too much on it, but it's a game that I could find I went and played again. You know, I like getting achievements. I like getting as many achievements as I can. But is it something that I'll go play again? You know, there's different games out there. It's like, all right, I've been through the campaign. I'm not going to do that ever again. Or is it a game that I'll go play again and again and again? So, All right, I was just curious about that because the campaign is definitely a big part of the game for a lot of people who don't do a lot of multiplayer. Their big sell this year, or of last year, was, you know, we want to introduce more people into multiplayer, hence why they brought out combat training and things like that to get people more into the multiplayer aspect of the game, because you can play for free. So, all right, well, cool. Any other questions from anybody from the chat? I don't expect any on the campaign because, again, as multiplayer has evolved, it's become and I don't want to take any light off the campaign, but it's become a smaller part of the game and more on the multiplayer and zombies than anything. But was just curious. It doesn't look like there is. So, but what I want to do is I do want to get right into multiplayer because that is a big part of the discussion. But I also want to tell you guys, I have a trivia question here in a little bit, and if you can see it, I have a pair of Call of Duty dog tags. These aren't Black Ops, these are Call of Duty, if you can see them. Okay, I will give them away to anybody in the chat who can answer the trivia question, so make sure you're paying attention because there'll be a random time when I ask the question, so just be ready for it. But we'll get right into multiplayer, and we'll start talking about that. So multiplayer. Multiplayer is one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest game modes that people like to play out of the Call of Duty. In fact, we lost Mal. Hope everything's okay. Hopefully I should jump back on here. But multiplayer is one of the biggest things we have with Call of Duty. In fact, in 2011, this game was the #1 game played. As of today, here she comes, she's coming back. It's good. As of today, it is the #2 game played since Modern Warfare 3's release. So even today, Call of Duty Black Ops is still played a lot. So much so it's second place all the time. So that's a big, big thing. For the fact that, you know, Black Ops isn't dead. A lot of people think, you know, well, every time a new game comes out, or a new Call of Duty game comes out, it's going to top, or it's going to knock out the other game, and in fact it doesn't. There's still a lot of people that play all of the Call of Duties. In fact, I think every Call of Duty, even Call of Duty 2, Sean got me attached to that, by the way, even Call of Duty 2 is still being played by people. It's still going on. So it's a lot of fun. And Black Ops definitely has some customization and items we'll talk about. But real quick, if you're on Xbox Live, I don't know about Sony. I didn't check, and I'm sorry. Not digging on them. But there is a 33% off in Xbox Live Marketplace for the First Strike map pack. So go check that out. And we wanted to talk about some of the things in multiplayer, and mainly the changes since all the controversy and everything that happened with Modern Warfare 2. So let's start with that one. Let's start with the success over Modern Warfare 2. And I don't want to delve too much into Modern Warfare 2 because we all know the issues that it had. We all know why people kind of were really excited about Black Ops and what was coming about, but no one expected the feature set and everything that Treyarch brought out with Black Ops. So let's talk about the success over Modern Warfare 2. First and foremost, why do we think Black Ops did so much better in terms of gameplay and balance and everything over Modern Warfare 2? What do you guys think about that? Let's start with you, Mal. Mal, you're back.
Yeah, sorry, my internet disconnected.
That's okay. That's okay.
I mean, I would contribute most of the differences, obviously to the different developers of the game. You got different developers that develop different games, so obviously they're going to be different. And I guess, for me, I think the reason that Black Ops probably was more successful than Modern Warfare 2 is just because with each new game, people are more anticipating of the next one. So it's not that it might have been a better game. I'm not saying it was a worse game or bad, worse. I don't know. It's just the fact that it came after Modern Warfare 2. People were excited about it. The news Call of Duty. That's pretty much what I think it is. Because I think both were actually really good games.
Well, I agree. I still play Modern Warfare 2 every now and then because it's fun. It has a different fun element. I'll put it that way because I'll be the first to tell you when I go back and play Black Ops, if I'm not playing, our little twisted search and destroy, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit, I find because I want to do so much better, I get really, really frustrated, and I think I rage more in Black Ops, and it's because I want to do better. But Modern Warfare 2 is just stupid fun, right? Just how many times can you go YouTube and take out guys? I mean, it gets really crazy. But I don't know, Nick. What do you think of the differences between Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2?
Well, I think the biggest differences can definitely be attributed to the developers because I think Treyarch absolutely had better post-game support than Modern Warfare 2. It was amazing what they did with stuff. Vonderhaar was out there on the front lines. So their support was definitely better than Infinity Ward's. And I think that's why the gameplay and the gameplay is still debated for a lot of people. But the reason that the support and the features were there was because of the developers.
Right. I know, Morgan, you're a Treyarch VIP, and you know a lot that was going on during Black Ops. I'm sure you've played Modern Warfare 2. I mean, what's your take on the whole differences between and kind of the way Black Ops or the way Treyarch approached Black Ops versus how Modern Warfare 2 did? I mean, Modern Warfare 2 was very, very successful. It was huge. But, with Black Ops being Black Ops was much more successful after that. I want to contribute something to the controversy, but I think because of the feature set. I mean, what do you think?
Well, a lot of it, a lot of people don't think about the fact is, over time in Modern Warfare 2, there were tons of glitches that were exploited over and over again. The Javelin glitch, the care package glitch. And in Black Ops, they had implemented this security to avoid that. And people don't think about that yes, there were some glitches, but they were fixed so fast that it wasn't even really noticeable. And I think that helped make Black Ops a better game in terms of the enjoyment factor, because you didn't have to worry about somebody exploiting the game and using wall hacks or whatever. But overall, I love the maps and how much more balanced they felt, and how you could, if you don't like noob tubing, you don't have to do it. You don't have to unlock that attachment, and I thought that was great.
Right.
Because personally, I can't stand noob tubers. That's just me. So I've never unlocked a noob tube, not even for any challenges or anything. And of course, the contracts were great too, bringing in that new level of gameplay to it.
Well, and I'm glad you touched on that, because I think one big success item that I've seen with Black Ops is that you can't get, it doesn't get stale, and I hope that makes sense, because there's so much to do. There's the wager matching, there's the COD points, there's the contracts, there's your player card. I mean, people could customize their player cards to whatever they wanted, right? Whoop, sorry about that. They could customize their player cards to whatever they wanted. There was the real-time online updating. They didn't have to do a title update every single time they needed to update something. They can do it in real time. Playlist updates, weapon updates, things like that. One big thing that was really, really cool, no death streaks. Treyarch obviously saw that was a big, big problem and didn't include that into the Black Ops title. Another thing they did not include initially into the title was quickscoping. Now, I know Infinity Ward has a huge drive for quickscoping. I mean, I'll tell you right now, and Sean, the owner of GlobalSpawn, I'll tell you, I suck at quickscoping. He's tried to teach me it, but it is something very, very easy to do in the Infinity Ward games rather than in the Black Ops. I don't think I've quickscoped once in Black Ops, just because it was, I suck at it, number one. But number two is they wanted straight up play. They wanted balanced play. They introduced that whole, hey, let's balance this out. Let's do things right. Let's tone down the noob tubes. Let's tone down the shotguns. Let's make things a little bit more balanced so we can start focusing on real gun-to-gun battles and play. No stacking kill streaks, Infinity Ward said they weren't going to do that again, but unfortunately in the support class, you can still stack your streaks. They're not as bad, but usually it's EMP and, you know, stealth bomber and something else. But the balance is the biggest thing I see with Black Ops. And Nick, you touched on it. David Vonderhaar's involvement with the community was huge, especially the competitive community, because you can still to this day go play the competitive playlist and be playing with some decent players out there. So what do you guys think about the competitive playlist and how it's not just the playlist, but how Black Ops focused a lot of its energy on making the competitive scene the way it did? How about you, Morgan? Or Mal, go ahead.
Sorry. I liked competitive. I didn't start playing it till my Black Ops broke a few months ago, but I borrowed my cousin's a little while ago, and I only played competitive for the last few months before my disc broke, and I actually really liked it because it was more enjoyable because the players that you were against were more skillful, and it definitely took out a lot of the noobiness of the game because there wasn't, you know, a lot of those perks and kill streaks and stuff that ruined the game, in my opinion. I think the best thing about competitive is the fact that I like the fact that Treyarch even included it, because I hate to say this, but I think that Modern Warfare 2 and 3 are kind of aimed at like pleasing the newbiest players that you know, they give them all the tools and perks and stuff that they need to do good, which is kind of sad, I think.
Well, I mean, and the whole the famous, you know, making the famous was a very popular tool for gamers in the competitive playlist, because that's usually what they would use. I mean, it was a pretty decent weapon, but I like to go out of the realm and use my MPL or use something else that just kind of threw them off. But I found that using all of the weapons, I could use all the weapons fairly well in Black Ops, rather where in the other games it was just you had your favorite because you found that that's what you stuck with, but it was fairly easy to use all the ones in Black Ops.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the competitive scene, Morgan?
I think it's great. I mean, like, I have a lot of friends who do MLG, and for people who are true hardcore gamers, a competitive playlist is fantastic. You know, it takes away kill streaks and you know, certain pieces of equipment and you know, everybody's really visible. It gets rid of that camping that, you know, people like to do, and I think that's great. Like, I love being able to play with people who I know at a higher skill level, because that's, you know, where a lot of the pro players will play, and it definitely helps make you step your game up and make you change your game style to actually become a better player.
That's definitely true. I gotta agree with you 100% on that, because if I play just the normal pubs when we're doing our shenanigans and stuff and we're screwing around, the pubs seem to be, you know, fun, but when you get into competitive playlists, you find yourself starting to focus, again, getting angry, you want to rage because you want to do better, you want to win, you want to go for that win, because that's usually what it's all about in a competitive playlist. And, you know, everybody's, it's a level playing field. There's no kill streaks flying around your head. There's you know, stuff not coming in and taking you out. A lot of the attachments are not allowed. You know, there's things that the customization seems better and more balanced for that competitive type environment. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I think the competitive playlist is great. When I go back and play, that's normally the only thing I play, just because, just like you said, it's the most even field, and also it really feels like a true competitive thing. I believe he talked to MLG players on how to make that playlist, and it really feels like real competitive gameplay. So I really enjoy it.
That's good. I mean, I think one of the game modes I truly enjoy playing, I think, Mal, you're going to agree with me on this, is Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy, by far, I have the most fun playing in Black Ops than I do any of the other game modes. I don't know why, or not game modes, but any of the other games, so Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, COD 4, things like that. I don't know why it is. I think it's because of that balance and that focus on, you know, what makes this a really good competitive game, even in pubs. I truly enjoy playing Search in the pubs because, you know, a lot of things that the sound is balanced out. You know, not a lot of people are if they are using their headsets, they're using them for the right reasons, right? But it's being careful and playing the game right. So that's competition and some of the other game modes. Now, you guys touched on David Vonderhaar's vision of things when he got involved with the competitive scene. That obviously put Black Ops on the competitive scene a lot. I mean, that was a big part of it. Everybody's kind of shocked that Call of Duty is not in the competitive market this year, but we all know why. That kind of goes into the customization, where you can have different types of things to do for your competitions, whether they're LAN events, your LAN capabilities, where you can customize your different weapons. You can't do that in the Infinity Ward titles. So people wonder, you know, why does Treyarch focus on that? And Greg, I think and Greg's not on camera right now, but he's in the chat with us. One of the biggest things that we've all agreed upon in the past few shows is that, you know, the consumer market's really, really big, and that's the big drive for the business side of it. But the competitive market is also very, very big, but in a small niche. So it's finding where are you good at, and how are you going to re-engineer your title to support that. But I think Treyarch got it good with the Black Ops title, absolutely. Let's talk about quickscoping. Quickscoping is annoying to a lot of people. I tell you, I think I got over it probably the tail end of Modern Warfare 2. I just accepted the fact that if I get into a sniping lobby and I'm getting you know, quickscoped, I just like, all right, whatever. I'll either rage quit out and find another lobby, or I'll just continue to move on and try to take them all out and then get yelled at that I'm in a sniper lobby all by myself. What do you guys think about the quickscoping? Nick?
I think the decision to nerf it was a good choice, at least in public play. I think, really, if you become too good at quickscoping, it is a bit unfair because you can just immediately lock onto your target and drop them with one shot. But, you know, maybe they could have given an option to disable it in private matches. But I think overall it was a good decision to nerf quickscoping in Black Ops.
What do you think, Mal? Playing Search, I mean, there's a lot of people that do that, but what do you think?
Well, just in general, I know, like, from playing other Call of Duty games that I get so annoyed when I get quickscoped, and I know anyone I play with gets extremely pissed off when they get quickscoped. I'm not going to say that I don't enjoy quickscoping myself because I'm not a good sniper, so when I do occasionally get a decent quickscope, it's kind of exciting. But I don't like getting quickscoped. It's kind of like the same thing with getting noob tube, you know?
Yeah.
You hate it, but when you do it, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my god, I just did it. I was cheating the other day. I was using, I don't remember what I was using. I think I was using the Barrett, and I found that I can quickscope better with an ACOG, and then I had the game-winning kill with it, and oh my god, did I get chastised. I was yelled at, and they're like, that's not a quickscope, you're cheating, you're using an ACOG. I'm like, whatever, I just quickscoped you and I won the game, so go away.
Yeah.
Well, Morgan, obviously you've played a lot of the Call of Duties. What do you think of quickscoping in general, and what do you think of them kind of taking it out first in Black Ops and kind of bringing it back a little bit?
I can't stand quickscoping. I mean, just straight up. But anybody who can do it and actually has mastered doing it in Black Ops, I'll hand it to him, because even with the fact that it was nerfed and they were still able to, you know, pull it off, you know, I'll let it slide. Like, when I first started playing Modern Warfare 3, you know, everybody was like, "Oh, quickscoping's back."
Yeah,
they went crazy with it, and so like I mean, granted, I went back to Black Ops not too terribly long after the release, so the quickscopers aren't currently there, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, Nick, that's interesting that you said that, and that's something we can talk about in Black Ops 2, but I'm wondering if they bring an option to where you can actually turn off the ability to quickscope, where you have that, where the pre-patched Black Ops where there was no such thing as quickscoping. That would be nice to have if you're doing big matches, or if you want to be able to say, I want to go in pubs where, you know, people can play a bare bones, no quickscoping type of gameplay. Right? I mean, that would make sense to have those options for people, being able to cycle maps, things like that. But it'll be real interesting to see what they think about that or how they bring that out in the next game. Now, death streaks. We all hate them. In fact, I hate them so much, the only one I use is Juiced. Because there's controversy on both sides. There's the one side where people think death streaks are rewards for people who are trying and are trying to get an objective and continue to get killed. And then there's the debate, which I'm leaning to, is that, you know, it rewards bad players. I want your guys' take on what you guys think about death streaks. Not necessarily in Black Ops because they're not there, but moreover, do we hope to see that they don't come back in the next Treyarch release? What do you think, Mal? You were smiling, so I want to hear what you got to say about them.
Death streaks kind of go along with what I said earlier about how Infinity Ward really likes to accommodate the newbier player because, I mean, you're not going to see any of the best players using death streaks unless they're doing really, really bad in the game. They definitely added some really, really bad death streaks. Obviously, Dead Man's Hand is infamous in gaming's community here, I guess. Yeah, the only one I use is either Revenge or Juice because they don't piss people off as much because it's not obvious that you're using it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're useless to me. I don't enjoy using them. When I do get them, it's not like a big deal, but I know I get pissed when I get killed by Dead Man's Hand, so I definitely don't want them to make a return ever again.
That's good. I was really happy to see that that they're not in Black Ops, and I think that goes with the psychology part of it when people they want to rage out of Black Ops because those aren't there. They're not expected. It's true game, you know, it's true gun-to-gun type battles. There's obviously the kill streaks in open public matches, but again, it's still about your skill. It's about your skill and how good you do in Black Ops. What do you think, Nick? What do you think of death streaks? I want to hear it.
Well, I can see both sides, you know, helping out new players, but, I mean, is it that hard to lock death streaks after level 20 or whatever? You know, why are people at 15th Prestige or whatever still having the option to use death streaks? That's kind of silly.
Right.
And in Modern Warfare 3, I don't know why the hell they put him in. You know, Robert Bowling goes up on the stage and screams, "Fuck you, Last Stand," but then they put in Final Stand.
Yeah, and Final Stand with a primary weapon. Can't tell you how many times I'm killed by that.
Exactly. It's like, we're going to get rid of the thing that, you know, you don't like, but we're going to put an even worse one in.
Yeah, I think he redacted that statement a little while ago. He's like, yeah, I think I misspoke a little bit on that one, but death streaks. What do you think of them, Morgan?
You know, in World at War, I was notorious for using martyrdom. So there had been times I've put on martyrdom just for old time's sake, but in general, you know, I've actually never been killed by Dead Man's Hand. I usually have not had any issues with the death streaks, but if I do use them, I'll typically use Juice, because, you know, Juice is a great death streak because it gets you right back into the game, you know, instead of having to trudge your way from wherever you spawn.
Right.
Gets you right back in the action.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Being a YouTuber myself and getting tactical videos and how-tos and, you know, different types of things, you know, defense spots, sniper spots, things like that I do for YouTube. Playing a lot of Modern Warfare 3, I've been killed a lot by Dead Man's Hand, especially around Christmas time, because people wanted to try, what is this Dead Man's Hand? And let me tell you, when you're on a streak of some kind, and you're heading to, you drop a guy, and you think he's in last stand, and you try to finish him off, and you're a good distance away from him, and you're thrown across the map from the from Dead Man's Hand. Oh man, I tell you, it's the most annoying thing ever. I do use martyrdom at times because it's the one that kind of makes sense. I hate to relate real life to a video game, but you know, it's the one that you can get away from, right? It's the one that I see someone drop it, I can do a quick jump and run, and I have a pretty good chance of getting away from martyrdom unless I'm really stupid and I just completely run right to him and I'm like, oh, look, there's a grenade, and I blow up. But Dead Man's Hand needs to be toned back. I mean, I don't want to delve into Modern Warfare 3 too much, but I truly hope Treyarch, obviously, a lot of we don't have any confirmations. Number one, that they are the developer of choice for the next Call of Duty game. We know there's another Call of Duty game coming out. We have a good idea. We're 99.999% sure it's them because David Vonderhaar is very involved with the community, asking for input on what he thinks for multiplayer and what he thinks for, you know, all the different things that are going on in his vision for having a good online play. So I'm hoping they stick with that. And if they do, they bring back something that allows you to run. Now, one thing, and I think it was World at War, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but isn't World at War where if you're between level 1 and 5, you can be in a welcome type lobby or a new lobby?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's something I could see where if they were going to do it, they should put it, and once you're past a certain rank, and Nick, like you were saying, I think once you're past a certain rank, you shouldn't need those anymore. You really, not those ones where if you drop down, you can kill an entire team. I did see a multi-kill with a Dead Man's Hand the other day, and I was just floored. I was like, wow, he took out 4 guys. Wow, okay. Mini nuke. Oh, well. The other thing that they introduced was the non-stacking kill streaks. So you actually had to hold your kills in your streak to get each of your kill streaks. Modern Warfare 3 has a hybrid of that, and that is the Assault class, class. There's the Support class and there's the Specialist class. Specialist is non-stacking because you can get point streaks from that. They actually call them point streaks. Support is a stacking, so it doesn't matter how many times you get killed, it still continues to stack. But do you guys like stacking kill streaks, or do you think they should stay out? Do you think they should stay away? What do you think, Morgan?
You know, for somebody who tends to get killed a lot, like, I have my strong games and I have my bad games, but when you're so close to getting, you know, that next kill streak and you get killed and it doesn't, and you use whatever you had before and it doesn't help you get to the next one, it's kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I'd rather not have it. Just for the fact that there are people who typically will just run a game over with kill streaks if they were stacked.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that goes into the whole boosting part, which we'll talk about. But what do you think, Mal? What do you think of the streaks in general? I mean, do you think the stacking kill streaks, point streaks, should stay, go? Should they completely go?
By stacking, that means like, what exactly does that mean?
What that means is if I get let's say I have to get 5 kills to get something. I have to get a UAV. I'm just saying, right? Let's say I get 3 kills and I die. And stacking would mean those 3 are still there. All I need 2 more to get that UAV. Right now, it's if you get killed, you have to start over.
Yeah, I don't think that that's good at all. I think that the whole point of earning a kill streak is the whole, like, reward of having the skill to get, 10 kills in a row without dying. I think that's part of the reward. Now, I know it's kind of difficult in Modern Warfare 3 because I honestly think I was a better player in Black Ops. I got high kill streaks a lot more than I do in Modern Warfare 3, and that's just the game style and the play type and all that. But I don't know. I think that it should be like a reward for getting the kills in a row and not dying. So.
Well, and Covert Gunman in the chat actually said something very interesting, and I completely agree. Getting a kill streak or some kind of streak in Black Ops took some skill. It really did take some skill to get. Whereas in Infinity Ward, I don't want to say Infinity Ward, but in Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2, it didn't seem to take too much skill to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of them, Nick? What do you think of the stacking, resets, things like that?
I think overall they kind of just encourage camping with the Modern Warfare 2, the way that you could just go Predator, Harrier, AC-130, or Chopper. In Modern Warfare 3, it does kind of feel like they fixed that a little bit, but I think overall stacking kill streaks, they just encourage camping, and it feels more rewarding to get that big kill streak when they're not stacking. So I don't like them.
Okay. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that if nothing was stackable, that people would stop boosting, or do you think boosting's here to stay and it's going to happen no matter what? Open to the floor. What do you guys think?
Well, I never. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, I never really saw a problem with boosting on World at War ever. I'm not sure why. I just never really saw much boosting on Black Ops. Sorry, on Black Ops, I never saw much boosting. But then you go to Modern Warfare 3, and it's kind of, you see these videos of boosters. So I don't know if that's a problem with Infinity Ward isn't taking the reports of boosters or whatever, if it's just the nature of the game. But I think, you know, if Treyarch can, or whoever is making the next Call of Duty can generally follow what Black Ops did, there won't be much boosting.
What do you think, Morgan?
Well, I've seen a lot of boosting over time with Black Ops since the very beginning, and it's always handled. Granted, you know, I do have a lot of friends who work at Treyarch, and I know people who work on the security team, and I know that they get things done. But I find it fascinating that I've actually found boosters on, you know, gun game, you know, people boosting and one in the chamber, and it just blows my mind because it's so unnecessary. You know, it's just completely not necessary. But, you know, a lot of times I found a lot of the boosters are playing like Demolition, and it's just stupid because these kids all get caught eventually, and, you know, your stats get reset. You know, if you've used the emblem editor, you can get banned from it and stuff. So I mean, like, I just think it's unnecessary, but there's always going to be somebody who feels the need to do it.
Right. What do you think, Mel?
Well, no one really mentioned this, so I guess I'll throw it out there. I honestly don't remember running into very many boosters in Black Ops. There might have been a few, like, times that it happened, but I can't recall many times that I've run into boosters on Black Ops, and I think it happens a lot more often on Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, and I think that's honestly due to the Moab and the nuke, because, you know, they're kill streaks that you obviously have to have skill to get, and the boosters that don't have the skill to get it go and sit under a staircase with tactical insertions until they get it with their friend. I mean, I think that's one of the obvious causes is the fact that they're doing it to get a nuke, pretty much. And with Black Ops, it's probably just to get XP and other kill streaks, but it's not like a kill streak that you have to be, like, elite to get.
Well, and I'm glad you actually touched on it. I was going to bring it up, but you touched right on it, and that is, I think boosting's not such a problem because there's not something grand to achieve. Whereas in Modern Warfare 2, it was the nuke. Modern Warfare 3, it's the Moab. It is, as it's not game ending, people have made it out to be this thing to obtain, this unobtainable thing to get. So people naturally will lean to that, hey, let's go boost so we can get a Moab. I mean, it makes no sense, but to get that thing that's just, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, I just got Moabbed. Oh my God, I just got nuked, right? That doesn't happen in Black Ops. There's nothing to obtain, per se, in Black Ops. There's no nuke. There's nothing that's, you know, game ending. I think that's why it was a real funny thing that if anybody was watching the, what was it, the kind of the live play that Vonderhaar was doing as the game was coming out, or just before the game came out, he showed his developers playing Nuketown, and he said, just wait, we're going to see something really cool, and a nuke blew up at the end. I thought that was very funny, but again, it goes down to that there's nothing to obtain except XP. Now, Morgan, you said there's guys doing it in gun game, which I find that also floors me. I don't get it. I don't see the point.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting, you know, COD points. It's not like you're getting some sort of elite status by winning a gun game or winning one in the chamber. And what it is it's these kids going around with having one of their buddies and letting them just kill them. You know, and it's so dumb.
Yeah, it is. It's real interesting. And you know, Glory, you did say it right. It's the simple fact that people want to reach the top and they'll do anything to get there. I get that, but I also get that, you know, there's a way to play this game and play it fair. So let's take a quick break. I want to definitely give you guys, I want to give these away, so be ready for the trivia question. But what I want to do is I want to show you something we created in Black Ops, actually a game mode we just came up with, and it's called Twisted Search and Destroy. So if you guys take a quick break and we'll watch this and we'll get right back to the discussion. Hey guys, CJ here, Media Director at GlobalSpawn.com. Now I know you've heard of the Call of Duty community-made games Mike Myers, Border Patrol, and maybe even Cops and Robbers. But we here at GlobalSpawn.com want to introduce you to a new game type, and this one's called Twisted Search and Destroy. You want to know how it's played? Well, sit back and watch because it's definitely a blast. Here's how the game is played. There are two teams. One team has C4 packs and a bomb. In 5 minutes' time, they must hide all of their C4 packs in a designated part of the map. Once they've hidden all their C4, they then can go plant the bomb. At that time, the EOD team has to come in and find all C4 packs before they can defuse the bomb. Now, they have 2.5 minutes to find and destroy all C4 packs without killing themselves or their teammates, otherwise they lose. Now, if they find all C4 packs, which can be any location in the designated part of the maps, in a playable part of the map, they are good to go. Again, they must destroy all C4 packs before any of their team can go defuse the bomb. Alright? If they do not destroy all the C4 packs in time, boom! So, come check us out on GlobalSpawn.com where you can sign up for a community gaming night and play Twisted Search and Destroy with us. It will be an explosive good time. Yes, I had to do my Hollywood voice in that ending there because I was having a really bad day trying to record that. Maybe if you guys are if you're lucky, I'll show you the blooper video that I made because it took me 22 tries to get that video created. It was a very, very long day, and it started off with my phone ringing, and then it goes all down the tubes from there. So yes, that's called Twisted Search and Destroy. It is a custom game we came up with. It has a level of stress that you will never believe. For both teams actually. So if you guys want to check that out, let us know. We'll definitely set you up, and we'll do some of that after the show tonight because it is a lot of fun. At first, people think, well, you know, it seems pretty simple, but when you have that bomb beeping in the background. Let me tell you, that messes with your head because you can't help but go, all right, we need to get to that bomb. We need to find all the C4. And about the 30-second mark, people start flipping out. They start freaking out, and then they start panic firing. So if you're on the other team and you're playing it, make sure you're not standing around the EOD team because you're going to get shot. And if all of you are shot, game done, game over. So, all right, let's get to the trivia question because I know that's what you guys want to know. Again, what you guys are playing for are these Call of Duty dog tags. They're Call of Duty. And they say, what do they say on it? They say Doe John M with a number and infantry. Can you see that? See that there? And then this one's a Call of Duty dog tag. Now, here's the trivia question. The trivia question is the introduction video I showed you for multiplayer was on the map Hazard. Now, Hazard, as we know, was a remake of the map Cliffside from World at War. It is one of my favorite maps because it's colorful, and we'll talk about that stuff in Black Ops 2. But I want to know, here's the trivia question. First one in chat to answer it correctly gets the dog tags, and you can message me on GlobalSpawn, and I'll get them sent out to you. But what movie inspired some of the elements in Hazard? What movie inspired some of the elements that are seen in the multiplayer map Hazard? There you go. That's the trivia question. Before we end the multiplayer discussion, I wanted to find out what you guys think about covert government. We have a winner right away, by the way. Covert Gunman got it, and it's Caddyshack. Before I go into that, let me talk about that. And Covert Gunman's right, because the developer really liked the movie, and what they wanted to do was have an element of comedy. And there are some things that are in that map, and you can go check it out. Go check it out in a private match, see if you can find it. And there is the Baby Ruth in the pool, in one of the pools. There is the random appearing gopher. It does show. I have proof of it. There's a gopher that pops up in some of the popping out of the different parts of the map, and obviously with the golf, a lot of the golf aspect. But it is a nice spin on an old map. I like seeing that. I like seeing a new spin on an old map. I should do that with Call of Duty 2, because there's some new ones in Modern Warfare 2 as well. Anyway, wanted to ask you guys in the video, or in the live chat right now, as well as on the panel, what do you guys think of Black Ops multiplayer over any other multiplayer in Call of Duty right now? I'll start with you, Morgan.
Well, honestly, I like elements from all the games, but I really do prefer Black Ops. For me, it's smoother. Like, I feel like I'm not struggling as much against whatever. Like, for me, like, with Modern Warfare games, I wasn't a strong player, but I have been with Black Ops consistently. Like, I've watched my KD jump and drop on Modern Warfare 3 ridiculously, just because I just have such bad games. Sometimes the spawns are just horrendous, or it's just luck of the draw with the game. But overall, I definitely prefer Black Ops.
What do you think, Mal?
I loved Black Ops online play. I think that for me, it's a lot more aesthetically pleasing to look at. A lot of people say it looks kind of like clunky, I guess, but I don't know. I thought it looked more realistic. Modern Warfare 3 kind of looks kind of like 3D to me, so it's kind of weird to look at. So I don't know. I found myself, I can play Black Ops for a lot longer than I can Modern Warfare 3 without getting pissed off or bored, because I think it is. I think Black Ops is kind of the closest to perfect of any of the Call of Duties, kind of, because it's aimed to please everyone.
Right.
If you're bad, you can play it. If you're good, they've got certain playlists for you. I think they've got noob tubes, and they nerfed sniping and all that. I think that Treyarch did a really good job with listening to the community and developing a game that they thought everyone would like, and I think they did good with that.
Good. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I think each Call of Duty game has its own distinctive style, but Black Ops was the most consistent and balanced game, I think. And so I enjoy it the most, because every time I go on the multiplayer, I know I'm going to have a good experience. I also think like playing with a team and being competitive is more fun on that game, just simply because you can kind of expect what's going to happen, and you have to adjust your strategy for each map. But it stays consistent, and I like the multiplayer on Black Ops, probably the best out of all the Call of Duties.
That's great. One thing that I do want to say is when the and Morgan, you just touched on it with the spawns. In multiplayer Black Ops, I actually made a video. I made a spawn trap prevention video on Summit, because I think every time I got on that map, and I'm a Demolition fan. I play Demolition a lot. It's one of my favorite game modes. But man, it is the one mode that gets you caught really off guard if you get into a spawn trap, because they can hold you in there very, very well. In fact, when Treyarch did the recent community double XP event, myself and MrDave.com, we jumped right in and started playing, and we dropped into a demolition match. I think it was a demolition match where we got into firing range, and no matter where we spawned, we were instantly killed. There was a guy up with a hind, and they knew where you were going to spawn, and you're being dropped every time you spawned in. So I know they've tried to address that with Modern Warfare 3 to prevent that type of camping, to prevent that kind of spawn trapping, but I think it has its place in a game in the sense of how you actually win the game, because you win. But I think when you're out to just spawn trap and not keep the game fun, to me that would get boring, just sitting there shooting people that keep spawning in. I mean, it's great for fun laughing every now and then, but I like to be competitive. I like to still go for the win. But I think once I got past that frustration part, I thought, how can I get out of this mess? And that's when I came up with that video, because I wanted to figure out how to get out of that spawn trap. So one last question before we get into the good part of the zombies. What do you guys think of spawn trapping, and where do you think it has its place? Because I know competitive has a place for it, but what do you guys think of spawn trapping as a whole? Nick, let's start back with you.
Well, spawn trapping on some games takes a certain amount of skill to do, because you have to know the specific points on each map where these chokes are. And in Black Ops, it definitely felt like it was hard to do. I know it seemed to me like the spawns were kind of constantly switching, although Demolition was one where you could always pretty much have a general idea where people were going to spawn. I don't really have a problem with it. You know, if I'm on the other end of a spawn trap, I'll normally just leave the game, you know, take a loss. I'm not one of those stat people, so I don't really mind. But when you're on the giving end of it, it's absolutely amazing. I know Black Ops on Nuketown, on Demolition, is like some of the best spawn trapping you can get. So I enjoy it, and if I'm on the receiving end, I normally just leave the game. I don't take much issue with it.
I'm second with that one. What do you think, Mal? What do you think of the whole spawn trapping issue or item?
Well, I kind of agree with Nick on the fact that if I'm on the receiving end, that it's not so fun. I would say that spawn trapping and Demolition is kind of terrible, because I saw a video on YouTube once that a big commentator put up as kind of like a joke, where he was literally sitting in a corner in Demolition, and the people just kept spawning a foot in front of him, and he just kept knifing one in the back, which that's kind of retarded, honestly. But in game types like Domination, I know in Domination the whole, you know, it's kind of like a strategic thing to keep them trapped at one point, and if the players on their team are good enough, they can get out of the spawn trap. I kind of like to compare it to like trying to keep cows in a pen, you know, and one might slip past, and it's, you know, it's either the cow's responsibility to get out, or the other player's job to keep them in or go get them. I don't know. I think it's strategic in certain game modes, and some modes it can just be like a troll fest.
Well, and it's funny because Mr. Rutherford said something here right now in chat, and there is a difference between spawn killing and map control, and he's right. It's that cow getting out, and that's usually me, because I will have to figure out my way to get out, because I get really pissed off, I mean, immediately, and I'm like, "Argh!" And I'm like, okay, do I rage quit, or do I try to figure my way out of this? Because I will always, on every single map, try to figure my way out, except for, like, firing range that night Dave and I were playing, because I'm like, there's no way getting out of this. I mean, you spawn, you're dead. You spawn, you're dead. It wasn't a chance to me throwing a smoke grenade or throwing stuns or going in prone immediately. It was, I was dead the second I spawned in. So it's a real interesting way to try to figure out your way out of it, and if you can, hey, you've succeeded, because now I can go around them, because I know they're going to stay where they're at, and then I'll take them out. And then it changes the game. It gets in their heads a little bit. So, I don't know, Morgan, what do you think of the whole spawn, trap, map control kind of topic?
I know that it definitely has its place in certain game types. With, like you said, with Domination, you know, if you control 2 flags and let the last one be theirs, you know, you basically pin them to that one area of the map, and you gain control of the game. You know, and that is a good tactic. It can be, you know, kind of a dick move, but I mean, it is a great way to win. But when you're spawn trapping, because Demolition is notorious for being, you know, you can spawn trap people, and it's horrible when you are on the receiving end by far. Like I can't stand it. And typically, like if it gets to the point where we're just, we're going like 10, 11 kills right in a row where we've just died, then we'll probably end up rage quitting. All of us will, and just drop out. But, and that's why you have to use, tactical insertions and demolition, because that's a great way of avoiding it,
Right.
So there's always a way around it, but it is frustrating. But I'll definitely say that.
It definitely is. And you mentioned domination and demolition. Domination and demolition are the two big ones. One thing, I was spawn trapped. I couldn't even call it spawn trapped. I don't know what it was. It was an annihilation. But I got spawn trapped in Modern Warfare 3 for the first time, and it was during sabotage on Dome. And because of that delay, teams have figured out where you're going to spawn, and they're able to run there and knife you. Like Mal was saying, they'll knife you as the second you spawn in. But it's getting out of that mess is always a challenge and always something interesting to do, especially in Black Ops. So, well, great guys. I appreciate you bringing your thoughts and topic discussions on the multiplayer piece of this. Let's get into the next piece that I know someone in this stream is going to be real interested about talking about.
Main power offline. Auxiliary power activated.
I'm sending them straight back to their graves! Hoorah! Hey dude, you wanna get me some ammo?
Main power online. Auxiliary power deactivated. Rocket approaching test position.
All right, it's zombies. And that was a little gameplay I recorded today. I wanted to show you really crappy gameplay, and that's me because I suck at it. And I'm showing you Ascension because Ascension actually is the one that got me into zombies. And Nick, I think we were talking about that last time you were on, is that it is the one map that I liked because, heck, what's not fun about getting chased by monkeys? And Ascension definitely brought me into the storyline, brought me into the whole Easter egg mix. But let's kick it off. First and foremost, when did zombies come out? And what was the drive behind it? And why do you think it's gotten so big? And Nick, I'm going to start with you because I know you have a lot of information on this.
Well, I'm going to say this from what I understand. The guy who originally created zombies does not work with Treyarch anymore, I believe. I can't bring his name to my head right now, but basically it had started, they were working on it after work, and they had created this map which became Nocturne Toten, and I guess they just kind of thought it was like a fun little extra thing that they would add in. And then what happened was people inside the studio started playing this after work, and they would come in after work and they would have these big tournaments and they would all talk about how great it is. So eventually they cleaned it up and they ended up shipping it in World at War as a bonus map after you finish the campaign. And then from there the internet kind of took off with it. People started posting all these strategies on how to play it, and people started making up rumors about it just because they were so engrossed with the zombies. So, I mean, that's how it started. And I think the reason it got so big today was because of the reason that it just kind of feels like a community. If you go on the internet and you search zombies, there's tons and tons of sites and videos and all kinds of stuff about zombies, and people just love this mode. So I think it grew because of people's passion for it, and they shared it with each other, and that's how it became the phenomenon it is today.
Now, Mal, have you played zombies? Are you a zombie fan?
Yeah, I love zombies.
Did you play a lot of it in World at War?
Yeah, honestly, World at War was the Call of Duty that I started out playing. I don't even know what month Call of Duty came out, or World at War came out. I started I got Xbox Live in like October of 2000 and something, and my brother had World at War, and I borrowed it and played zombies with a bunch of friends, and I was hooked instantly, and ended up getting my own copy of World at War in like February for my birthday, and yeah, Zombies was definitely the reason that I even got World at War. I would say Black Ops, you know, kind of modernized Zombies a little bit. I mean, with every additional map, like the different map packs that they brought out on World at War, they kind of added more to Zombies. I wouldn't say, I don't know whether to say that there's too much elements to Zombies or not. I think that I still enjoy the first map, the original map, as much as I do any other one. So, I don't know, it's just fun.
How about you, Morgan?
I love Zombies. I've had games that go on for 6-7 hours. And that's really not an exaggeration too. You know, I started on World of War. It's actually what I played before I even played multiplayer. It was my first Call of Duty game as well, and I got hooked. And you know, and I love going back on World at War and playing Zombies there as opposed to playing the classic maps on Black Ops, because it's not the same. I mean, you can get the weapons off the walls, but it's not the same. I love the actual, you know, original, the way it felt when you played. But I definitely, Darius will always be my favorite map, I think.
I was going to ask that, what's your favorite map? But you said Darius. Mal, what's your favorite map in Zombies?
You know, honestly, I really liked, I can't even remember the name of it. I think it was Ascension. I guess that's what, like the little rocket things that you fly in. I think that one,
yeah, that's
that was
Ascension.
probably my favorite. I think that was the farthest one I got the farthest level. Well, not like my farthest level that I ever got to on Ascension was just 3 people, and we had a lot of fun playing it. I think that was probably one of my favorite maps.
How about you, Nick? What's your favorite map?
Mine would probably have to be Darius back on World at War. I put that game in just to play single player and try and run around with the flamethrower and see how good I can do. It's a greatly designed map, and it's great to still go back and play with friends on, so Darius is always going to be my favorite.
Now, I know Modern Warfare 3 tried to bring something to the whole co-op kind of realm, and that is their version of Zombies, which really isn't a Zombies. It's more of a combat training that Black Ops has, and that's the survival, and that is how long can you survive. So it kind of had a mix of the combat training, but with a little bit of spin of the Zombies. But I'm, like you said, I am floored how huge Zombies has become. I'm surprised it has not become its own game. I think that's the appeal, is that it stays in the Black Ops realm. That here's something so different, so outlandish, not your typical, you know, your first-person shooter game. Here's this thing that's become so big. Its growth and popularity are phenomenal. I mean, what a success from a napkin idea, and I call it a napkin idea because I'm sure these guys are sitting around going, what if we did this? And then look what it's turned into, because isn't that how most of this game is created, is what if we did this? What if we do something that we saw out in the community and created it? I want to go into the story. Now, the story has, and I'm a newbie when it comes to Zombies, so I'm going to lean to you guys who play it probably more than me. The story is very interesting. I didn't start learning about the Easter eggs till Ascension. With the whole daughter, I don't even want to mess it up, guys. I'm going to get chastised for this, but I mean, tell me about the story, Nick. What is appealing about this story, and how did it evolve? What has it evolved into?
Well, the story first started back on the map Verrucht which had numbers and stuff written on the wall talking about Bible verses, and a couple people on the internet picked up on this. One guy's name is Telixian, and he used to be on a site called We the Gamers, and then another guy is called Carbon Fiber, and he had created a thread on the Xbox forums, which is how I originally found it. And so once these people started talking about the story, a whole bunch of other people wanted to get involved in this. You know, they started thinking, hey, maybe there's something here. So then when Shino Numa came out, Carbon Fiber had gone and created his own website called CallOfDutyZombies.com. And from then on, you know, just all types of people and all types of sites just became enthralled with this story. And so with Shino Numa, they added a couple new things, and then Doris is really where they blew it up, and they added Samantha and Maxis and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Is it true that you can play like tape players or something on the maps?
Yeah, on Doris there are these radios. I think there's 7 of them, and you just hold down the reload button on them, and it'll play these audio recordings.
Wow. I'm floored by the detail of stuff. I've seen different videos where people can throw a Gersh device. Am I saying it right? Gersh device over the wall, and it picks up a generator. And I was watching a guy do it in a match. I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, this is the Easter egg. I'm like, what Easter egg? What are you talking about? I just didn't understand it, and then I got really into it. Right? There's 2 parts of zombies that I found interesting for myself, and that was how high can I get? Right? I think on Ascension I got up to 35 by myself. I've seen a lot of videos out there on how to do it. You can do it by staying in a specific area, or you can do it by running. Right? And one of the things that I did is I stayed in an area because just as in survival, I like to hold an area down. How long can I hold that area down without getting overwhelmed? But I think when the next map came out, or the next map pack came out, let's see, it was Fear. So it was First Strike. Oh God, help me, guys. Fear, First Strike, Escalation, Annihilation,
and then Resurrection.
Resurrection, that's right. And Resurrection brought the original maps back, because I bought the Hardened Edition, and the Hardened Edition came with the original maps of the zombies, and I didn't play those as much, sad to say, but I did play Ascension a lot, and I think that's the one I like playing the most because there's so much to it. And then Call of the Dead, I did play a lot. It was just fun because of the film aspect of it. I mean, I've met all those people in person, and they're great people, but to see them become zombie characters or zombie fighters was a lot of fun. And the different Easter eggs, like finding the music player, or not the music player, but how to find the hidden song. I think it's where in the Pentagon, it's the Eminem song, and then the Avenged Sevenfold song in Call of the Dead. But it was really fun, and the big story of finding the goldenrod and seeing the submarine come up. I mean, that's cool stuff. That's really cool stuff that they added into something that they didn't need to add, and it has such a huge, huge following. But I do like it. Now, I'll have to admit, I didn't play the one in... Which one is the one where you're on the island? Which one's that one?
Call of the Dead?
Not Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead's where they're in night and all the film guys, but where the other characters come
Shino
back.
Numa?
Yeah, that one. Where you have to push all the concrete wall, or not the concrete, but the rock, clocks, and you can turn it to nighttime.
Oh, that's Shangri-La.
Shangri-La, okay. I didn't get to play that one as much, just because I moved on doing some other things. But it's real interesting in how it evolved into Moon, and I don't want to do a giveaway, or not a giveaway, but kind of give the secret away. But isn't there a really big story, Nick? And I'm kind of leading you to this. With Moon?
Oh, yeah, Moon was huge for the story. Hopefully by now everyone's heard about it, but, I mean, can I just say what happens?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Yeah, Moon was probably by far the hardest side quest out of all of them, because the steps were completely random. There were no hints to the next one. but it ends up playing into this huge story of the little girl is locked in the pyramid, and Group 935, which is the organization that has been doing all these secret experiments at Derice and Shino Numa and Vurict and all these different maps. It all kind of comes together on Moon, and the little girl's locked in the pyramid, and when you finish the Easter egg, Richtofen, who is one of the characters, he works for Group 935, or at least he used to. He ends up switching bodies with Samantha. So previously Samantha had been controlling the zombies, where now Richtofen is in control of the zombies and Samantha is inside Richtofen's body. So then they end up shooting rockets at the Earth, and the Earth blows up, and there's tons of different theories on where we're going to go, but it's amazing what they did.
Wow. I watched, I'll admit, I did know I wanted you to be able to share that, because if you guys don't know, you need to go check out Nick's YouTube. He's got a whole walkthrough on the Moon achievement and how to get that. And I watched it. It compelled me to. I just sat there and watched. And I'll watch long videos if they're really good, and it was really well made. You guys did a good job on it, by the way. But I was truly amazed the different aspects that they brought into that map, into the zombies game, on how to get those things. It's no longer just about getting as many zombie kills as you can. It's about doing these different side quests or these side kind of objectives. So it was really interesting. I'm real happy to see that they did that, and they continued to do that in Black Ops, and it had a really huge following. So is there anything else you guys like to talk about zombies before we move on to the final topic of the evening? Any questions in the live chat?
I'd like to say something really quick. If
Sure.
you guys want to learn more about the zombies storyline, go to callofdutyzombies.com. We've pretty much got all of the zombies theories and information all on there. So if you're curious, you can go over there.
And I just put that in the live chat. I'll make sure I put that up as I edit this live show for the replay. I'll make sure I put that up there for you, Nick. But yeah, guys, go check that out. It's really, really fun and entertaining to watch. Zombies is a lot of fun if you're into that. It's a nice break from the monotony of the multiplayer, of the repetition. It gives you definitely a challenge, and it freaks me the hell out. I'll be the first one to tell you. It's the only game in the world that's given me a nightmare. I woke up in cold sweat going, a video game just gave me a nightmare, because it freaks me out with all the noises and stuff. But although Ascension's fun, and then I have to worry about, zombie monkeys. But anyway, we'll move on. So thanks, guys. Thanks for talking about zombies, and I know that's a big, big part of it. Now, let's talk about this. Now, I'm gonna put it out there, and that is, we're not going to talk about. We won't talk about rumors. We won't try to confirm anything, because we know nothing is confirmed. One thing I pride myself on the show is that we're not going to put hack stuff out there. We're not going to tell you, here's this, here's that. We're going to give you just facts. And we're going to talk about things we'd like to see, things we want that we hope to see in the next version of the game. And it's based on an assumption that the next game is going to be Black Ops 2. That's what this topic is going to be about. So. First and foremost, David Vonderhaar put a tweet out a while back, because there was a website that popped up, and it was called Iron Wolf, and it was a website that said, sign up here and we'll give you all the information you want in Black Ops 2, and they made themselves look like they were part of the company, and David was the first one to say, no, they're not, don't give them your information. So part of that whole don't believe anything till you hear it from the horse's mouth kind of thing. If anyone's going to come out with any information on the next Call of Duty, it's going to be from David Vonderhaar, or it's going to be from their official video or official announcements, official press releases. So just remember that. Now, if you're curious about David Vonderhaar's Twitter, I'm going to type it in the chat here. Hang on. Vonderhaar. And you can follow him on Twitter. He asks information from the community on a constant basis, not just competitive, but from everybody. He wants to know what you guys think. He wants to know what you guys think about how multiplayer should be handled, how certain aspects of a multiplayer should be handled, how snipers should be handled. He's got a really heavy involvement, and we talked about it throughout the show, but he's got a really heavy involvement with the community, and he's a pretty stand-up guy. I've never had an issue dealing with him. I was giving him some shit just before their community event, and that was, why can't I name my class Wang Chung? Because I like to name my Black Ops classes after bands or after different songs and stuff, and it's not because they control the names. That was an Xbox thing. But again, the guy thinks about things. He's always thinking about things and always is taking input, which is great for the community because we see that type of involvement that we don't see from others. Wang Chung, nice. Anyway, so let's talk about game customization. Then let's assume that Black Ops 2 is going to be the game coming out. How do we think? How do we think the developer, if it's Treyarch, how do we think they're going to step up what they have already done with Black Ops? Because obviously they brought out a ton of stuff that the community has never seen with a Call of Duty title. Do we think there's going to be more enhancement, or do we think they're going? Yes, I do need a lozenge. Thank you, cheapskate. Do we think they're going to add more to it? What do you think, Nick? If it's Black Ops 2. Are you on mute?
Oh, sorry. Me?
That's okay. Yeah, you.
Oh, sorry. What was the question again?
Feature-wise, do you think they're going to step it up another notch based on what they've came out with Black Ops?
Well, from what I understand, at least on the zombies side, which is, where I think I probably most can comfortably speak at, I guess.
And that's fine. That's fine.
From what I understand, they are already stretching the limits on memory of the current engine and the Xbox. So I think the problem for them is going to be, well, people keep asking for bigger maps and more weapons and more stuff. Well, they're limited in what they can do because of this outdated engine. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do to try and be different with zombies, because you can't keep making the same thing over and over again. So I'm looking forward to what they do to evolve zombies, and just the same thing on multiplayer. I don't expect too much changes in terms of the way that the core game works. Maybe in features they'll tweak, but I wouldn't expect too drastic changes.
What do you think, Mal?
Honestly, I don't really know, because I think, like I said earlier, I think that Black Ops was pretty much. I think it had a few bad elements to it, but pretty much most of it was spot on to me. Story-wise, I think that it could go any way, because I don't really know how they could continue the ending from Black Ops. One feature that I would really like to see added, because I've missed this ever since World at War, I loved the fact that they had a cooperative campaign on World at War. That was probably one of my favorite elements of World at War, was the cooperative campaign. You could play with, 3 of your friends and actually get XP that went towards your ranking in multiplayer and stuff like that. I think that was, it's got kind of like that intimate setting of zombies where it's, just you and a couple of your friends playing, but it's, I don't know. I just liked it. I hope that someone brings it back.
What's your take on anything you'd like to see if Black Ops 2 was going to come out, Morgan? What kind of things would you like to see? Would you like to see more things evolved? Do you expect to see more customization? Do you expect to see more features?
Well, I liked how they changed the multiplayer, how you can customize your class and stuff in Black Ops. And, they changed that even more when they made Modern Warfare 3, and I thought that was just a little too much. So I'd like to go back to, having fewer options to choose from, just to simplify it, go back to basics a little bit. like Black Ops was nicely enhanced by far from World at War. So I'd like to go back to that. You know, I'd like to make sure that we don't see any Final Stand, Last Stand, anything like that, because you know that's just obnoxious.
Right. I mean, and the whole piece of Last Stand was you're put down, you get a pistol, and your teammate can help you up, and if someone gets the kill, that teammate who put the person down gets the kill. I know that can be frustrating, but I think that was a nice part of Treyarch to listen to the community to say, okay, we understand that's annoying. Here's what we're going to do to help kind of offset that a little bit. We're going to reward the person who put him down with the kill if he gets it, and we're just going to let him have a pistol, not an ACR or a rocket launcher or whatever in the other titles that we won't mention. But all right, cool. Color. I wanted to talk about the color hue, and the color and sound for me. I'm a sound guy. I've been a sound guy for a long time. I wrote some reviews on different games a while back on my blog, and that was how I rated sound, how different titles did their sound design specifically. But I also want to focus on the color. Now, we know the Cold War was very dark and just wasn't all that great. But in multiplayer, you want to keep the players engaged. You want to have some of that engagement. And I know there was a huge complaint of the color hue outside or about the multiplayer maps in Black Ops. I think that's why there was two reasons people liked playing Nuketown. One is because it was a very small map and it's just crazy. But the other, it was very bright. It was very colorful and it was appealing to the eyes. Same with Hazard. Hazard was one of those maps that I still this day love playing because it's very colorful, it's very bright, it's a nice clear sky. And I think the other maps I don't like so much is because they're gray, they're dark, they're just, I don't know, but that's me. I like very colorful, very open maps. Just seems to be a lot more fun. What is your guys' take on the current Black Ops color scheme, and what do you think we're going to see in the next version, if we see that? What do you think, Nick?
Well, I don't have too many complaints about the colors. I feel like there is a good variety between the maps taking place in Cuba and the snow maps. But one thing I don't like is the snow maps. There has to be these ugly white snow maps in every Call of Duty, and if they could find a way to change that somehow, I'd be pretty happy.
What do you think, Mal?
I agree with Nick. I personally hate snowy and sandy maps. I've always hated them. I know there were, whether it's Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, whatever. I can't stand snowy maps or sandy maps. I mean, I'm a girl, so I like pretty things. And the more colors, the better, in my opinion. That's why, I love Nuketown. Yeah, I can't remember. What's the name of the one that it's like Havana? Is that what it's called? Something like that?
There's Havana, there's Villa.
Yeah, Villa's colorful. Havana's colorful. Hazard's colorful. I like the colorful maps. I don't like snowy, boring, deathly looking maps. They're boring.
Okay. Double Waterfall. What about you, Morgan? What's your take on the color of the maps and what you think about them?
I will say that, when World of War came out, the maps kind of had a grainy effect to them, and I think that they kind of carried that over a little bit with Black Ops, which gives it a different feel, which I think adds to the game. Some people don't like that, and they have duller colors, because, back then, you gotta think, too, in that time frame, things weren't quite as bright as they are nowadays, if you think about it. So it actually is pretty fitting, in my opinion. But I will agree about the snow maps. One snow map per game, fine. Multiples, not necessary.
Right.
But I do like night maps. That's something that I really like, night maps. Nightfire from World War and Macon. Definitely two of my favorite maps, and that's something that I wish, I hope that they bring back a night map for that.
What'd you think of Hanoi?
Hanoi, honestly, Hanoi feels too dark. It really does to me. There's just not enough Like, and even if you brighten the brightness on your for your game itself, it's still very, very dark. And I understand, there's that nice spotlight that comes through, and parts of the map are very well lit, and you can still see. But, like, with Macon and Nightfire, you could always see. There wasn't this very, you didn't have the ability to hide in the shadows as well as you do on Hanoi.
Okay. It's a good take, because I think that when they brought that night map out, I was taken back for a moment. I was like, I think I like it. And it's like you said, there's parts of it I like. So that made it very interesting. Now, David Vonderhaar said something that in a tweet that they understand that color is an issue. I'm really curious to see how they're going to address it, or how they're going to have a balance for the color, because I think that was a big part for me. I mean, there was times I was deleting map packs because I didn't want to play certain maps, like the snowy maps, but I wanted to play Stadium. I couldn't pick and choose my maps because of that. So I think they understand that. I think they get it, and it'll be real interesting to see how they address it in the next version of the game they develop. Sound design was a big thing for me. I'll be the first to tell you, and you guys can flame on me all you want. I did not like the sound design in Black Ops. I didn't. The campaign was great. The sound was great in it, the way they did the music and everything. But for me, and I'm going to tell you why, if I go play Battlefield, if I go Bad Company 2, or if I go play Modern Warfare 2, the sounds were they were what I expect to hear. Like when I'm playing Jungle in Black Ops, the guys running, the squishy, metally sound they make when they're running drives me insane. So much I'll turn the TV down. Some of the noises, the weapon changing, or the magazine changing noises, I don't know what it is. I really don't. I can't put my finger on why I don't like the sound design in Black Ops multiplayer. And that's just me, guys. That's my honest opinion. Why I don't like the sounds, because they just sound cheap. They almost sound cartoony. And it's not a slam against Treyarch at all. It's not a slam against the game. I love the game. I love the developer. I just don't like the sounds. What do you think, Morgan? What do you think of the sounds in specifically multiplayer?
Okay, well, first of all, the weapon sounds. Now, I understand that there is some changes that goes on when you record a weapon sound, but having been in the military and shot weapons, whether they're new or older, you know what they sound like, and the sound just doesn't transfer, whether it's Black Ops, Modern Warfare, any Call of Duty game. The sound just doesn't transfer quite right. And for me, that bugs me, but it's not like a deal breaker by any means. But some of the sounds they never did quite get right, like with footsteps and the way footballs happen.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, somebody has stompy feet in a game where they're not using Dead Silence or Ninja or whatever the hell it is anymore. They're not that loud in real life.
Right.
The balance needed to be tuned a little bit. Because I'm sorry, if I hear somebody running and they're like 20 feet away from me, there's a problem with them. That just doesn't happen in real life, and that's something that I think they definitely need to work on. And some of the balance of when something's announced, like when there's a spy plane incoming, sometimes it can definitely overpower the game a little bit, and it'll distract you, which is never, ideal.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because I think that's what it is. I think the sound design distracts me so much that I have to mute it or turn it down or turn the sound effects down a bit and play some music in the background or something, because it distracts me. It distracts me from what I'm doing, because it just, the cartoony, squishy metal sounds, and yes, I said squishy metal, it just annoys me. It drives me insane. I mean, what do you think, Mal? You're laughing, and I know you guys have something to say on it, but what do you think?
Well, the only thing I really have to point out is, as a search and destroy player, search and destroy is my favorite game type, and, when you're like the last person alive, or it's just you and like one other person, that's when you really, really, really get to hear a lot of the sounds that they put in the game. I remember when I got my first gaming headset back in Modern Warfare 2, I was playing Search and Destroy on Wasteland, and I was in like the bunker area, and I was like the last person alive, and you could hear like the wood in the bunker creaking, and like, and I don't know, I liked that, the fact that it kind of like drew me into the environment. I didn't get a lot of that in Black Ops, honestly. I didn't feel like they put a lot of time into, you know, environmental sounds, and I never really did notice the clunky footsteps, but now that you mention it, I kind of do, so.
Now everybody's going to go look after the stream. They're going to go play it, and they're going to go, oh my God, it does sound like a squishy metal, you know, stepping, but it's interesting to see how they did that.
Now, I do have to say with the gun sounds, I mean, I'm obviously not military. I don't know what a lot of real guns sounds like, but I do have to say that they're definitely better than Modern Warfare 3. When I played Modern Warfare 3 for the first time, I could tell a difference. I think the first gun I used was like the M4, and it sounded like really...
Sound like a jackhammer.
It sounded like congested and like nasty and gross, and a lot of the guns sound a lot different than they did in Modern Warfare 2. The ACR sounds completely different. In Modern Warfare 2, the ACR had kind of like a distinct noise to it, and now it sounds like congested and gross. I definitely like Black Ops gun sounds better than Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, they did change the design completely with firearms in Modern Warfare 3. Although the changing of weapons, the sound that it makes when you change weapons, still is back, to Call of Duty 2? It's still the same sound. They never changed that. But they did change the weapon sounds, and they're a little weird. They're a bit different.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with the gun sounds.
Now, Nick, I'm leaving you for last because I want to ask you what you think of the sound from Zombies, but specifically I noticed one thing, and it may be me being crazy or something, but when I played Call of the Dead, and I expect the sounds that I hear in Zombies, when you get close to one of those stones, I can't remember, the moon rock where you touch and you can start up the music, I expect that. I expect that kind of sound. I expect that kind of, I don't want to say squishy sound, but I expect that kind of sounds in Zombies. What do you think the difference between the sound design in Zombies and the sound design in multiplayer?
Well, the sound design in Zombies, I think that for a lot of the stuff that they have to do, it's very specific type stuff. They have to do the quotes specific to sound good for that environment. So, for example, on Moon, they had to have 2 different recordings of every quote, just in case, depending on if your helmet was off or your helmet was on.
Yeah.
The environment sounds, I don't really blame them if they have to recycle a couple things because, at times they're on a tight schedule. I know going into Black Ops, they've said that they were on a tight schedule because they had to be switched to the single-player team. And so, I'll cut them some slack as long as they can make a good map. I don't really care much about the audio. One of the audio designers, I guess, for Zombies is on Twitter. His name's Colin Ayers. And, he's really active within the community. And, he talks to the community and stuff. And, he's been doing sound for, a good amount of years now. So I don't really have any problems with it. Zombies is definitely something unique to be working on because you've got just an immense amount of voice quotes to do, whereas on multiplayer you're recording gun sounds and environment sounds. In Zombies you're also having to spend hours inside the studio recording, the quotes of these actors. So it's definitely something different for them to do, but I don't really have any major gripes. Although, on the multiplayer maps, I don't know why the hell they thought they needed to have, like, a big freight train going through the map or whatever. That was kind of silly.
Oh. Hey, and it was a snowy map.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was interesting, because it certainly overpowered that map. When that train was coming, I couldn't hear anything else. Maybe it's just me, but when that train was coming, couldn't hear anything else. I could hear the tracks from across the map, could hear the horn. But yeah, I agree with you on that one. That was really interesting.
Same thing with the rocket taking off on
On launch.
It's crazy.
Yep. I think when the rocket, I find myself when I get into a game, there's like this pause. Everybody just kind of stops when the rocket's taken off, because not only does it shake the screen, it's so freaking loud. There's nothing you can do. It's pretty funny. All right, guys, thank you for talking about sound design, because I know that's an issue. Some other things that we think may be coming out in Black Ops 2, if that's the case, is we're going to see an enhanced theater. That'll be real nice to see. Maybe HD uploads, maybe longer, who knows. It depends on what's taxing the servers. COD money, I'm sure we're going to see a return of that, because COD points is a big thing. Being able to purchase your gold camo or being able to purchase, different weapons and attachments is a big part of how you play the game and how many contracts you have, things like that. One thing that I will be real interested to see how they handle is the Elite integration, because I find it interesting that you can't do any Black Ops operations. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't been able to do a Black Ops operation till Elite went out of beta. And I don't know why. I've been asking, getting no answer, and I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure it can't be said why. But I really hope that there will be continued operations for the games that are integrated into Elite for some time to come. I don't want to see it where Black Ops 2 comes out and then all of a sudden there's no operations for Modern Warfare 3, because you still have that niche market where people are going to play Modern Warfare 3. They should still have the ability to play operations in Elite. I hope we see that in Black Ops 2 as well. Now, one big question I have for all of you is, do we think this next version, if it's Black Ops 2, do we think it's going to surpass the sales of Modern Warfare 3? And why? What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, definitely. It's a Call of Duty game, and those games kind of exponentially grow because every year there's a new generation of younger kids that, Mommy, get me this game for Christmas. So, yeah, I think it's definitely going to break the record, and I think Call of Duties for years to come will probably break the record. While they may lose some of their hardcore audience because of bad decisions that, a developer may make, I think in the end the casual audience is immense for that game. It's bigger than a lot of people realize. So, yeah, I think it's definitely going to break Modern Warfare 3's record, and then the game after that is going to break the next game's record.
What do you think, Mal?
I guess it could go either way. I'm gonna say yeah, probably. Like I said earlier, and just like Nick said, that it's the newest Call of Duty, so obviously everyone's gonna get it. Plus, I think that Infinity Ward left a lot of room for Treyarch to kind of like one up them. They kind of because I think a lot of people were disappointed with Modern Warfare 3, and it was such a huge selling game. You never know how a game's going to be until you buy it and try it out. And a lot of people were disappointed with Modern Warfare 3. A lot of the hardcore players were disappointed with it. And I know for a while, you'd see David Vonderhaar poking fun at Robert Bolin on Twitter with people all the time. So I think that people are excited to see what Treyarch can put out, to see if it can, top what Infinity Ward put out. So I definitely think that it'll top Modern Warfare 3.
What do you think, Morgan?
Well, I think with Black Ops, Treyarch got rid of the stigma of them being the quote-unquote B team for Call of Duty. I think that they definitely proved themselves with Black Ops. I know that World at War did not have the success that they had hoped that it would. But Black Ops broke, Modern Warfare 2's records, and that was a huge thing. And, of course, Infinity Ward being, the people who make Modern Warfare 3, of course, was going to be a success, at least in sales. Now, that being said, of course, we've seen a decline in multiplayer games being played. It's still the number one, yes, but, a lot of people like myself, I know, have gone back to Black Ops, and I think more people who were, Infinity Ward fanboys or fangirls, I think have noticed that it's just not the same, and have actually said that they're looking forward to the next one. So I think that if the trends are correct right now, that it'll definitely surpass Modern Warfare 3 sales.
Well, we all know why, and I think I think there's some thoughts around why Black Ops did so well. Mainly because they did bring out a very, very solid title. They brought out a solid zombies, and they brought out a game that fixed a lot of the controversy or problems that Modern Warfare 2 had. Now, people wonder, well, why did Modern Warfare 3 do so good if Black Ops did so well? Why did Modern Warfare 3 do so well? Because they were trying to revitalize. People wanted to see, did they fix, did Modern Warfare 3 fix what they screwed up? Did things get all washed out? Did things get all cleaned up since the whole controversy around Activision and the boys who went over and created Respawn Entertainment? And like you said, I think a lot of people are really disappointed with what is going on in Modern Warfare 3. And I raised my hand because I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that I'm already 10th Prestige and it didn't take me that long. I'm disappointed that there isn't a lot of customization. In fact, I'll show you guys the trailer again before we end the show. But our Twisted Search and Destroy, we're trying to find something similar in not only Modern Warfare 3, but I went back all the way to COD 4, and the customization is exactly the same. I can't do a 2.5-minute bomb timer in Search and Destroy on COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, or Modern Warfare 3. I just can't. It's a minute. Because of the whole noob tubing thing and everything, you only get one C4 pack in Modern Warfare 3, and you can't replenish it. So I hope the customization options that come out with what we think is going to be Black Ops 2 stays and is enhanced and gives the players, us, the community, a lot more options to customize their games and come up with more community games. Because I don't know if you guys watched the stream, but Swifter has this community night where they do Border Patrol, they do Mike Myers, they do all these different types of community plays, and people want to play them. Oh, sure, Glory, you want me to play the bloopers? I'm not going to play the bloopers. You guys can go, Arr! They want me to play the bloopers. Now you got me all razzled. But I do hope the customization stays and gets better with the next versions of Call of Duty. I won't go into any speculation of what's going to happen with the future of Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Raven. But we're seeing a shift in those developers, guys. I truly see we're seeing a shift. And Morgan, you hit it right on the head when Treyarch put themselves on the map. When you have a video game developer that can surpass the entertainment industry in terms of movies, that's huge. That's putting video games on the map for all of us in the community. It should not be overlooked that this is something to stay. This is something that's getting bigger and bigger. And when you have people making $100,000+ a year playing video games and making YouTube videos, that's huge. That should say something. That this game is here to stay. This game is going to be king for a while, and it's going to take someone really good and really big to bring something new and innovative to the market to keep it this easily played game, aside from all the video games that are out there. So, all right, let's take a quick vote. Who wants to see the bloopers? I'm gonna play the Twisted Search and Destroy video again, so you guys can see that, because we're probably gonna do a couple rounds of that in the live stream. We're gonna start the live stream up about around 9 o'clock, 10 after 9. We'll start it back on this channel, so we'll do that. But who wants to see the bloopers video? And I know, Glory, you want to see it. Do you guys want to see it? I'm not trying to gloat, believe me, but it's something I can make my own self laugh because I was having such a bad day. No, I hate laughing. You guys want to see it? All right, I'll play it. Give me a second. Let me add it here. Should I play the red band? Who wants the red band? Who wants the beeps? Should I play the beeps? Should I play the beeps or should I play the yes, Mel? Come on. Who wants to see the red band? Who wants to see the normal band? Or the green band? All right, fine. I'll play the cursed one. Why not? All right. Hey guys, CJ here, Media Director at GlobalSpawn.com. Got a new game type that we'd like to introduce you to. Are you kidding me? Ugh. Hey guys. Might want to not choke. And we're going to be playing this in Black Duty Modern Ops 3.5. Yes, a new one. Really? Yes.
Hey guys, this is CJ, and I'm gonna tell you about this really new game type called Search and Destroy, but it's twisted. Kind of like me, and the way I'm talking right now. Okay? Go play it.
It's cinematic excitement when I cut in and out of these scenes. That bomb will time out and you will die. So, here's some exciting other fun. Would you like to know how this game is played? Well, okay, I'll tell you how this game is played. What has to happen is there is a bomb team and an EOD team, and the bomb team must go hide. They must go hide all of their goddamn C4 packs before they blow up, because if they don't blow up, the EOD team's gonna go blow them up for you. When they blow them up, you're and I'm done. Alright, I'm going to play the actual trailer so you guys can see what we're going to go play. And if you want to get into this, make sure you add me on Xbox Live or GlobalSpawn.com on Xbox Live and go into my file share in Black Ops, and you can find it as a custom search and destroy map called GlobalSpawn.com Twisted Search and Destroy. It's a lot of fun to play with your friends, and yes, I did skip a few takes. It took me 22 times. I was not having a good day. I don't ever take that long to record something. That's why I was anyway. So here it is, and then we'll come back and we'll say have everybody give their plugs, and then we'll say goodbye. So be right back. Watch this trailer. Hey guys, CJ here, Media Director at GlobalSpawn.com. Now I know you've heard of the Call of Duty community-made games Mike Myers, Border Patrol, and maybe even Cops and Robbers. But we here at GlobalSpawn.com want to introduce you to a new game type, and this one's called Twisted Search and Destroy. You want to know how it's played? Well, sit back and watch because it's definitely a blast. Here's how the game is played. There are two teams. One team has C4 packs and a bomb. In 5 minutes' time, they must hide all of their C4 packs in a designated part of the map. Once they've hidden all their C4, they then can go plant the bomb. At that time, the EOD team has to come in and find all C4 packs before they can defuse the bomb. Now, they have 2.5 minutes to find and destroy all C4 packs without killing themselves or their teammates, otherwise they lose. Now, if they find all C4 packs, which can be any location in the designated part of the maps, in a playable part of the map, they are good to go. Again, they must destroy all C4 packs before any of their team can go defuse the bomb. Alright? If they do not destroy all the C4 packs in time, boom! So, come check us out on GlobalSpawn.com where you can sign up for a community gaming night and play Twisted Search and Destroy with us. It will be an explosive good time. All right, there you guys go. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's start down at the bottom. Nick, why don't you give some plugs and your website, YouTube, any contact info you'd like?
Sure. Thanks for having me back on. If you want to check out my YouTube, it is youtube.com/NickThatGamingShow, NIIK That Gaming Show. Also, be sure to check out CallOfDutyZombies.com for all your zombie story needs. And see you guys in Black Ops 2, hopefully.
Ah, thanks. I always love having you. I didn't get to put your famous picture up because I wanted to, have the blue around you, but we'll do that next time. That was always enjoyment. That was always fun. How about you, Mel?
Thanks for inviting me on the show. If anyone wants to check out my YouTube, my channel is MalMal2011, and my Twitter name is Mal_Mal2011. And oh, by the way, on my channel, I make Call of Duty commentaries and random funny videos. So yeah.
Excellent. We like watching those. I like watching random funny videos. I try to make them all the time, but that's great. Thank you. Thank you for joining. We really appreciate having you on. We'd love to have you on in future shows. How about you, Morgan?
Definitely thanks for having me. My Twitter is at Morgan J. East, and I'm actually a writer for AgriGame. So if you guys want to keep up to date for any of the rumors or news that comes out for the next Call of Duty game, definitely give that a follow as well.
Great. I do. I actually follow that. I like the content you guys put out there. It's very unique. It's not something like you've seen on the internet. So thank you very, very much for joining. I'd love to have you on a future show as well, especially when Black Ops 2 comes out. I'm sure we're going to have some. So guys in the stream, thank you for watching. We do appreciate it. We're always going to try to bring you new information. Now, make sure you all tune in next week if you're a Gears of War fan, because we're going to do an all Gears of War show. Should be a lot of fun, and Glory is going to be hosting that show. I'm going to kind of be helping him out, but because I don't know anything about Gears of War whatsoever. But make sure you guys tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll have a great job. So, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you all later.